96.7 KCAL rocks. It is Patrick in the morning, and it's time to talk some sports with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on?
Hey, let's do this, Patrick. If you're a big NFL fan, I love when they have those games over in Europe because if you really like football, you can get up really early, especially here on the West Coast, and literally watch football from like 6 a.m. till about 8:30 at night, like wall-to-wall football. And we got our first NFL game coming up in Germany. I know you know this because your Seattle Seahawks are going to take on Tom Brady and the Bucs in Munich, Germany.
Yeah, in Munich, Germany. Man, there's a lot of games across the pond this year. I heard there's 17 total. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the NFL is massive here in the United States. Football is king. But across the world, it's soccer. You can even say basketball. Basketball is a global game. They play it everywhere. There's a lot of other things. So the NFL is king here in the United States, but they're trying to, broaden their boundaries and try to get into Europe. We've seen Mexico City games. And hey, who's a better ambassador for the game than Tom Brady, right? So you take him over there. You got Seattle, who's playing really good football. All of a sudden, that's a really good game they've got in Germany the Sunday morning this weekend.
It is kind of nice that they finally get to see some quality games over there. For a while, that was not the case. The only backlash that I hear is a little bit, I think hometown fans feel like a home game does get robbed. That's the only negative that I do hear about it. And you know what? This league is very tight. And sometimes it is tough to play over there. I mean, it can come down to just one game. So that's the only negative that I hear about the thing.
True.
I think it's really cool. I would love to take a trip to Germany. My sister lives in Tampa. I mean, this could have been perfect if I wasn't so broke, right?
If it was free. If it was free, it would all be good. Yeah. The flight and all that stuff. Oh, yeah, I bet you that's a lot of money to make that trip over there. But yeah, that's another great point too. Like someone's losing a home game to have these international games. So maybe in the long run, it won't be a big deal, but something to consider there. So we got Seattle and Tampa Bay. First game on Sunday. The last game on Sunday, Chargers, 49ers, Sunday night football. I'm a 49er fan, but I think that's the best game of the weekend. I think the Chargers, they got to stay on the heels of Kansas City, of course, and they sure look like a playoff team. And the 49ers could be, even though the Philadelphia Eagles are undefeated, the 49ers could be that team to beat in the NFC. That's a big game, Patrick.
I think Air Bear, Justin Herbert, and the Chargers are going to run into a buzzsaw because, I know firsthand the 49er defense is really tough, and then now they're adding that new wrinkle with Christian McCaffrey. I think this will be a good game, but I do think the 49ers are going to win pretty decisively.
Yeah, sometimes you see a team and you look at their record and you're like, oh, maybe they're not that good. Well, the 49ers are that good. I think if you look at their record, they're better than what it says. And there's some teams, I'm not going to mention the New York Giants, but the New York Giants, you see some teams and you look at their record and be like, wow, they must be really good this year. And you're like, I still got some question marks. I'm not completely bought in on some of these teams. So early in the season, I don't completely buy into the records quite yet.
You're not going to buy into the Giants when the Seattle Seahawks kick their butt, right? Then when the Seahawks beat them, wait a minute, they stopped Saquon.
Yeah, no, Seattle's the real deal. I think they've played enough games that we're like, okay, Seattle is legit. They're the first place team in the NFC West. Oh, can they hold off San Francisco? We're going to find out, but the 49ers, it looks like they're going to be charging hard with that great offense now with McCaffrey and that defense too. So another intriguing game, Patrick, this weekend. The Raiders playing the Colts, and the Colts firing their head coach mid-season right now, Frank Reich, and they're going with a guy, Jeff Saturday, who's a Colts legend, but really not a coach that, he has no coaching experience. He's not coming in there, with a lot of coaching pedigree.
Man, I have to say I was stunned when I heard about this. Obviously, he knows the owner very well. People who are supporting the Rooney Rule are going crazy over this. So this is wrinkling a lot of feathers. I think that's why Jim Irsay's press conference saying all that weird stuff. He really needs a PR crew to kind of help him. He's just a different dude. I think Jim Irsay says. I listened to Pat McAfee a lot, who was the big punter for the Colts, and he knows Jim Irsay really well. He's like, hey, man, this is a hippie who basically owns an NFL team. You know what I mean? So he says things differently. Like, I don't care about experience, and we're in the upper quadrant of the upper quadrant. You know what I mean? He's saying so many weird things. It makes him sound very strange.
What was he saying? Like, we're in the top quartile of the top quartiles, and we're in the top 14. Everyone's like, what are you talking about, dude? He's not your typical white-collar, Texas billionaire, right?
The memes on the internet showed banners holding up next to the Colt championship. We're the top quartile of the quartile.
They should run with that. If they start winning some games, they should run with that. Make that their motto.
Hey, top quartile. That was a stunner.
Yeah. I'm curious, though, to see what the Colts are going to do now with the new head coach who hasn't had any coaching experience. Was he a great player? Yes. He was Peyton Manning's center with the Colts, but we'll see how that's going to pan out, especially against a Raiders team who's just really struggling right now. So we'll see. Speaking of struggling, one more NFL game, Patrick. Rams and Cardinals. I heard this weird stat that the Rams are on pace to have the worst season of a Super Bowl champion in the following season after they win the title. Like, I think the Denver Broncos back in the late 90s, they won the Super Bowl, and the following year, John Elway retired, and they went 6-10. But right now, the Rams look like they might be on pace, or maybe even be worse. I don't want to say that, but they might even be worse than that Broncos team in terms of that, Super Bowl hangover. I know you've talked about it before.
I mean, it goes to show you how tough the NFL is. It doesn't always just work out perfectly, but yeah, we're seeing a real Super Bowl hangover. I think it really does take a lot out of you.
Yeah, and there's question marks now about Matt Stafford. Like, is he going to be the quarterback of the future? Like, maybe he's run his course. Maybe that was the best we saw, and it's just kind of downhill from there. I don't know. He's not that old. Look at Tom Brady. Look at Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so the Rams, this is like a playoff game for the Rams. This is a must-win game, especially in your division against Arizona. Patrick, college foosball. We got to talk about it. The new college football playoff. 4-team national semifinal. The teams are out. We were close. We talked about it on Monday. We were close on picking these teams. It's official now. It's Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU, Texas Christian University, sneaking into the top 4. The Horned Frogs are undefeated. They deserve to be there, I suppose. So if we had the semifinals this weekend, it would be Georgia against TCU. And how do you get Ohio State and Michigan in a national semifinal? I don't think that'll happen because they're going to go head-to-head in a couple of weeks. But, yeah, that would be massive if they played in a couple of weeks and then had a rematch in the national semifinals.
To tell you the truth, I thought they were going to keep Tennessee in the top 4. And to me, TCU does deserve right now. To me, it kind of shows that the committee is being fair. And you know what? I think normally they would have made the decision to not let TCU in, and because Hendon Hooker is such a great quarterback for Tennessee, and because I think they really know Tennessee is still a really good team, but I think they're going to be fair. And as of right now, TCU deserves to be there, and we'll see if they can stay.
Yeah, I mean, those are the 4 teams right now, but I think a lot will change. Again, Michigan's going to play Ohio State head-to-head. Georgia still might have some battles in the SEC, so Tennessee's looming, and there's a path for USC or maybe Oregon to sneak in there still. So there's still a lot up in the air with this college football playoff picture, this national semifinal, the 4 teams.
Yeah, I mean, Oregon is right there. The only blemishes they have, they just had a really bad game out of the gate against Georgia. That's the only thing. And it looks like Georgia's pretty legit. So I think as Georgia does better, it's actually kind of helping Oregon in realizing that, damn, Georgia is just a really good team. But Oregon's a good team too.
They are, and that's their only blemish. And it's a big blemish because we all thought Oregon was going to go out there and battle Georgia and, get some street cred back for the Pac-12, and they just got smacked. But that was a long time ago, and things change over a college football season. So hopefully Oregon will get more respect. Hopefully USC will get – it might be USC and Oregon playing for the Pac-12 title, and the winner might go to the playoffs. So, again, a lot can change.
Easily that could happen. I do think that's going to be the game.
It could be, and it sure looks like it. All these UCLA fans are probably rolling their eyes right now, but it could happen. Totally. And finally, Patrick, to the NBA. Big one last night in the City of Angels. The Lakers taking on the Clippers. Lakers in a free fall. A lot of these LA teams, man, are in a free fall right now. And the Rams, the Lakers are right there as well. They lost to the Clippers last night, 114-101. And LeBron James left the game with leg soreness. This has happened before, and he's been out a while. We don't know exactly what this timetable on his return looks like, but, man, the Lakers are 2-9. LeBron is hurt. This is getting from bad to worse.
It looks terrible, and I even saw, I can't remember if it was an LA Times reporter or somebody who has covered the Lakers for the past 15 years, and he says for sure this is the worst Laker team that he's ever seen.
And that's saying something, because there were some lean years. Remember, like after those, 3 NBA titles, there were some lean years, with Smush Parker and some of those guys like that. But yeah, with this superstar power, we thought maybe they could get it going, and maybe they still can. We're only 11 games into the season, but with LeBron hurt, who was actually having a really good game last night with against the Clippers, but with LeBron hurt and the chemistry just not there, I don't know how you snap out of it. And that's obviously Darvin Ham's job to figure that out.
Clippers, this is your chance to take over LA, at least this year.
Yeah, and they're doing it without Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has barely played this season. I mean, who knows what's going on with him? We wanted to see him back, but man, the guy cannot stay in the lineup.
He's like Anthony Davis.
Yes. These great
China dolls.
Great superstar players, but yeah, made out of glass. They can't stay on the court. They continually get injured, and it's just a shame because they're both super talented, and when they're healthy, probably 2 of the top 5 players in the NBA, at least in the top 10, maybe in the top 5. They're that good.
Gosh, their teams need them so badly, just like we need our guy Pep. Pep, tell him how to get your stuff.
You are way too nice, Patrick. You can get my stuff on Inland Sports all over Instagram, Twitter. We got Inland Sports on YouTube, so check out the channel. Hit that subscribe button for us. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.